Broadway fans, sans, everyone else in between, welcome back to another video of a channel that gets no views. So today we are going to be looking up very controversial Broadway opinions. I found this person from Lauren on Twitter, and you will see split screen. So let's just get into some of these controversial ones. I did read some of them. So one of the comments is, if Broadway doesn't start releasing pro shots of their shows, it will die. Now this is an interesting comment, because I would say that might have some merit, but we're living in a much different time than we have been many years ago and years since. That made no sense. But I think that pro shots is what's gonna save Broadway, and we've seen with Hamilton the renewed interest in that show, and in New York City in musicals, and there was an increase in streaming services that offered Broadway content, so I think it's going to keep Broadway alive. And trust me, I've seen Hamilton on Disney Plus many times, but I want to see it live. Like, there's a huge difference seeing a show on a TV screen and then seeing it on a stage. So I do agree with that comment. Let's see what else. Come From Away should have beat Dear Evan Hansen for Best Musical, and then King Helos TV said, on my drive, said, great comment, should have beat both. Come From Away, I have listened to it. I think Dear Evan Hansen is better than that. If there were to be a musical that should have beaten Evan Hansen, it would have been Great Comet. But 2017 Broadway was very competitive. There was too many good shows. And sadly, Great Comet, closed for a variety of reasons. Broadway's classes in its format, and is an activity that can only be done by people with lots of money. The only way I can watch the show in the way it's originally meant to be seen is by flying to New York and watching it. Sorry. This would cost over $1,000 just to do, and my seat probably wouldn't even be great. Broadway needs to be more accessible to people who aren't in the upper class by releasing recordings. I totally agree with this comment. Broadway is very elitist, but I think this pandemic is going to change the way they sell tickets, and I think that for a couple of years after this year, Broadway will be a bit more cheaper, but still not as successful. But again, pro shots are definitely a thing. But you have to realize Broadway's a business, and if they can make a ton of money off of something, they're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Shows just can't sell tickets for the lowest price if they know that that people are going to pay a big amount of money to see these kind of shows like Hamilton. Like, if I was a producer of Hamilton, I was like, we have a mega hit, and people are willing to pay absurd amount of money to see this show. I'm going to make more money, the show's going to make more money. It's all a business. Producers are greedy, but rightfully so in a way. But I think that, again, accessibility has been B-Way's biggest issue. Let's see what else there is here. Broadway fans should really listen to and watch more of Stephen Sondheim shows than just into... Exactly. Stephen Sondheim is a lyrical musical genius. He's the godfather of American musical theater, by far, bar none. But Sondheim isn't for everyone. His music isn't very mainstream. Let's see what else. I don't know. I saw a really good one. Waitress isn't that good. I said what I said. I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know. If I read DEH is bad. Oh, that's a thing. We'll probably cut this because I'm just coming on a whim. Come From Away and Great Comet were more diverse and innovative than DEH. They have more to say. Evan Hansen is aggressively average. They deserve those acting awards though. I can see it. Great Comet was very bold, and it wasn't typical Broadway, and neither was Evan Hansen. But I think Evan Hansen was very innovative in bringing about mental health and doing a ton of great things. Let's see. How's everyone's day going? Great? Cool. Oh, there must be more original content on Broadway. I'm so sick of the money grabbers and this whole trend of every movie has to be on Broadway. There are too many original stories that must be heard that are glanced past because of this. I 100% agree with this opinion. That brand shows have become too much. I used to say love brand shows, but we're getting a bit too hectic. But don't worry, because the pandemic is going to make Broadway less spectacular, and they're going to do more original shows. Mean Girls did not need to exist. Fact. Dear Evan Hansen wasn't as amazing as everyone thought it was. So many DEH hate. And Groundhog Day was way more amazing than everyone thought. Yes! I'm sorry if I'm being cringy, but Groundhog Day was the best. It was so good, and no one can tell me otherwise. Groundhog Day was absolutely robbed at the Tonys, but rightfully so, because of DEH. But again, it was a very competitive season. It was just really competitive. Groundhog Day is slept on, exactly. Groundhog Day is, that show is, I hate the way that it happened. SpongeBob was underrated because people thought it was a cash grab from Nickelodeon, and some of the best songs written by talented musicians, amazing acting, and great set designs that perfectly matches SpongeBob's aesthetic. I mean, it's a fact. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. Phantom is rapey and gross and should be buried forever. I see that. Dear Evan Hansen isn't that good, plus the plot is bad. Rachel's soundtrack by itself is better than seeing it live. Heather's is not good at all. Renee is a better Regina than Taylor. Again, a lot of Dear Evan Hansen hate. But I don't really know Heather's or Mean Girls Regina. Let's see what else. The theme of the musical is if you harass and gaslight a woman long enough, she will fall in love with you and defend your actions to those seeking justice for your victims. Wow, that was a bold claim. Bold claim. I mean, your opinion. I don't really have an opinion on the music, man. Not after, the whole Beetlejuice thing. Broadway wouldn't be dying if tickets were less expensive, making them more accessible to a broader audience, especially teens who tend to fixate on musicals or minorities, much like the depiction of the characters in Hamilton. Broadway isn't dying, but I think that when it comes back, they're gonna make it more accessible because they have to. They just can't have it beat the prices that they were. We need more queer, happy stories on Broadway. There are quite a lot of gay stories in theater, but the only happy ones I can think of is The Prom, Head Over Heels, and Fun Home. Exactly. There needs to be more gay representation on stage. And Prom didn't last very long. Neither did Fun Home, despite it winning Best Musical. The best of musical theater is already behind us. I fundamentally disagree. Musical theater is constantly evolving. I definitely don't think it's stopped evolving. I despise all of ALW's work and Lloyd Webber. Is that super controversial? I actually agree. Like Andrew Lloyd Webber is a man of many styles. I love School of Rock, love Superstar, but Phantom is very boring. That's controversial, but I'm saying it. Hard work doesn't always mean quality. Fact. Wow, a lot of great comment should have won. And Dear Evan Hansen hate. Crazy. Wow. DEH is a terrible story about a creepy white boy who pretends to have been friends with a girl's dead brother, uses that connection to get in her pants after stalking for a year, and then faces absolutely no consequences. And The Greatest Showman is a whitewashed historical revisionist fantasy that paints a slave owner as the hero and savior of people who bought, sold, and abused. It also adds a non-existent romance to cover the fact that said monster literally put his wife's life in danger. I agree that Greatest Showman is not historically accurate. DEH, everyone has their own opinion. I actually made a video essay on DEH and this exact statement. But I definitely do think that it's a show that, you can look as fundamentally flawed or fundamentally amazing. But I mean, I love Dear Evan Hansen. It's my favorite Broadway show that I've seen and my favorite musical I've seen, period. And then apparently this is a controversial statement. BMC is a good musical. It is a controversial statement. I love BMC. It's a Middleborough. Gotta represent. I saw BMC and liked it, but can agree that with all the fatal flaws the show suffers from. Yeah, I actually agree with that. There are flaws in it though, but it's a really funny show. Um, Broadway as an industry is dying down. No, but if I think it will be interesting to see if once COVID passes, if it will be at that level. They have to lower ticket prices. They have to, and they will. I mean, they know that though. So, Amber Gray deserved the Tony for her work in Hadestown. I guess I think Ali Stroker was the rightful winner of that Tony, but to each their own. Andrew Lipia is criminally overrated. Fact. Absolute fact. Falsettos deserved best revival over Hello Dolly. Sorry. I understand that, but Hello Dolly revival was absolutely amazing. Like, that is a once-in-a-lifetime performance. Like, it's amazing. BMC is good. DEH is overrated. Guys, I am sorry. Falsettos deserve so much better at the Tonys. Spring Awakening is underrated. Taylor Louderman is an amazing singer. I just don't like her as Regina. I don't think DEH is overrated, but BMC is good. Mean Girls should never have been made into a musical. I agree. Also love the music of DEH, but when you actually dissect the plot, it grazes over the suicide and it just glorifies Evan. And Requiem, as beautiful as it is, confusing me because we see that close relationship with both sisters. I honestly thought that DEH and Hamilton, I mean, they just get a lot of hate. But I mean, every big musical that's like big, like Evan Hansen, Hamilton, that have all this love, people find something to criticize. And that's true. What are we at? 11 minutes. Wow, guys. Well, this is getting cut down. Hadestown's Broadway production is inferior to the off-Broadway production, and both productions are inferior to the original album. I understand that. The original album is amazing, and I think the off-Broadway showing was amazing, but I think that the Broadway version and the off-Broadway version have stuff that I love about them both. But I can understand that statement. Although if you haven't seen it, then you really have no claim to that comment. Gavin Lee was robbed. That's a fact. That's just an absolute fact. Great Comet should have won score, orchestrations, and director. It should have won director. I'll say that. Let's see what else there is. Celebrities being in B-way shows just for publicity is getting on my nerves. There were thousands of underage actors they could have used instead of musically stars and ex-YouTubers. I agree with that. There should be... Well, it's a business at the end of the day. They bring in more money. More POC, more people of color as leads in musicals, even when they're traditionally white, should happen. Exactly. Totally agree. Beetlejuice was robbed. No, I don't. It was robbed of scenic design, but Hadestown was just better than BJ in every way. Beetlejuice is amazing, but compared to Hadestown, I mean, Hadestown is a piece of just Broadway art. It's deep, it's meaningful, it's great. The Netherlanders donate millions to Trump. Yeah. Rent is an overrated musical. I mean, sure, I don't really love it, but I mean, I did see the live version. A lot of great comments should have won. I'm glad all this great comment love, bro. It's amazing, because I thought I was like the only fan. BMC would have done better if it stayed off Broadway, with all due respect. Oh yeah, exactly. BMC was that I knew from the moment they announced that they were going to Broadway, it was going to fail. A lot of the Hard and Jump got lost in the way. I think they finally had the big budget and big stage that everyone dreams of getting to have their shows on, and they went too far with staging, set, costume, etc. It kind of lost the quirky little off-Broadway gem in the rough charm. Exactly. I think that they overdid it, but I liked it though. I liked the way they expanded it, but I think that it kind of made people feel alienated, and I think that they were going for bigger and bolder when they didn't necessarily need to. But You live, you learn. SpongeBob should have won the Tony for Best Musical. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Watching Hamilton is really only special if it's the original cast. Otherwise, you could just listen to the soundtrack. I don't agree with that. I think that I'm excited to see with like a new cast. But in my opinion, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your controversial Broadway opinions in the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.